and welcome back to
Learning Fire Emblem Fates!
This is my house. Starting from where we left off, we meet with King Garen in his throne room to apologize for not ruthlessly massacring Hoshidan prisoners. Instead of killing us on the spot, Garen gives us a mission to survey a Hoshidan fort located on the cliffs of the Bottomless Canyon. For someone who's our father, he sure does love putting us into incredibly dangerous situations. As backup, Garen pairs us with a known felon, Hans. I see no issue with this. After reaching the canyon, we are intercepted by Hoshidan troops, and as our job was to merely survey the area, we swiftly make our leave. Is what I would say if our main man Hans wasn't an actual psychopath. We are then thrusted into battle, with Hans throwing himself at a group of Hoshidans holed up in a fort. Not quite sure what he expected to accomplish there. During this map, we are supported by Felicia and Gunther once again, but due to Gunther's heroic sacrifice in the previous chapter, we are left with only Corrin and Felicia, which leaves our defensive capabilities rather stunted. Oh my god, Gunther's still dead. What? This sucks. Now, I have played this game on normal and even hard before, but as this is my first time playing on Lunatic, there are bound to be some things I'm not conditioned for. Oof, they move? Yeah, apparently these guys move, which I would have known had I checked to see if they had any movement tiles. Now, while I wasn't planning to be attacked by this many units, luckily Corrin survives due to Felicia's skills.
Oh my god, this is gonna be so rough.
After making a quick escape and healing up, I realized that the only way to move forward now is to take the fort where Amozu is head on. After setting Felicia up in a woods tile adjacent to the dragon vein Corrin has to use, in order to get some extra defense and evasion, we are rushed by a samurai and 2 archers. While we're able to take out the samurai, we are far too weakened to take on the archers without losing someone in the process. So we evacuate to a nearby fort, which grants us even more defense and evasion on top of being able to heal a little bit at the start of each turn. However, this is where I make my first mistake for this chapter. Right here. That's not the right move.
No!
In this chapter, we are introduced to the pair-up mechanic. Basically, what this does is allow your units to both occupy one tile at a time. There's a main unit who will do all of the attacking and defending, and a support unit who increases the main unit's stats depending on their class and support rank with the main unit. This also has the possibility to trigger certain skills as well as negate others. A good example of this is that while Felicia is paired with Corrin, her devoted partner skill will activate, but the effect from Demoiselle will not. Besides increasing the certain stats of a main unit, they also build up guard stance, which after 5 rounds of dealt/taken attacks, your paired units will take 0 damage from all attacks. However, you have to rebuild the gauge after eating 1 attack. This can be very useful if timed correctly to take an incredibly powerful attack. That all sounds amazing, doesn't it? Who wouldn't use that in this scenario? Welcome back to Who's That Dumbass? The show all about dumb idiots. Let's get into our first dumbass. This dumbass actually doesn't have more than 2 brain cells to rub together. Who's that dumbass? This guy. But now that Felicia's dead, Corrin has no backup. So while he can last for a little bit, he won't really be able to take down Amozu, who is standing on the capture point. I'm sure he could do it with a lot of patience, but I don't play for patience. I play to look like this. Attempt 2 goes a lot better, but after trying to take out the paired up enemies in the fort, Corrin goes down. Now, it may seem stupid to go after them, but since they run out of the fort to attack you, it's actually super possible to take them down. Instead of going through all my runs, let me explain why I really like this map and how not having Gunther makes it an extra challenge, but it's still really feasible to get through it. This map makes great use of a woods tile that's in perfect range for Corrin to reach, but also for the enemy samurai to come attack him. And even though Felicia starts 2 tiles back from Corrin's starting tile, thanks to her 6th move, she has just enough to stand by him to provide him buffs. This is a great way to teach safe baiting tactics. Another samurai runs in, and this time Hans is joining the fray. Depending on if he hits or misses will determine how you use Felicia. If Hans hits, awesome! Use Corrin to take out the samurai and Felicia to heal Hans before he runs away. If Hans misses, then you'll have to use Felicia to do a bit of damage to the samurai instead, so Corrin can finish him off. However, if this happens, Hans runs too far into danger for Felicia to heal him, so she does miss out on a bit of experience. From here, we have 3 choices. Take on the enemy fort head on, go down the middle bridge, or go down the bottom bridge. Depending on the way we do this, we can either die a terrible, horrible death, or I can keep my sanity intact. If we straight up take on the fort, we just meet the same demise that Hans did. And if we aren't killed by the enemies in the fort first, then the nearby archers will finish the job for sure. So that's not an option. If we go down the middle route, we get swarmed from the north and south by archers. And with very little defensive or movement options, Corrin will die before taking out even one archer. Now it may seem like our only options are to die or to get murdered, but luckily we have one final option left. If you take the bottom path below, you have to set Corrin out on a dragon vein tile, leaving him wide open. There is a nearby woods tile, but since Corrin can't move after using a dragon vein, this is useless to him. But it's not useless to Felicia. Luckily that woods tile is adjacent to the dragon vein, so Felicia would benefit from the increased defense and evasion from the woods. And Corrin will receive his damage negation buff that he will definitely need to take on a samurai and 2 archers. In all my runs of this map, Felicia was always hit by one of the archers, while the samurai and the second archer would go for Corrin. On most runs, Corrin was able to take out the samurai. Now this leaves both of them incredibly weak. Neither of them can do enough damage to take out the archers, and if Felicia heals Corrin where they're at, she's just going to end up dying, leaving it highly unlikely Corrin could even complete the map. Luckily though, there's a nearby fort to take shelter in, and if you're not a dumbass, then you could pair Felicia with Corrin and hope to avoid the archer's attacks. On your next turn, you'll heal up a bit thanks to the fort being a heal tile, and then Corrin will be more than fine to take on the archers. After the battles are won, you can use Felicia to heal Corrin up, and the fort to heal up Felicia. This little skirmish teaches a great lesson about using the terrain around you, as well as teaching you when it may be more effective to retreat. Now, as soon as you cross the bridge, a group of 3 Pegasus Knights will come in from the south as reinforcements for the enemy. So now we have 2 archers to the east, 3 Pegasus Knights to the southwest, as well as a Mozu who will knock us flat. Given the lesson we just learned about when to retreat, you'd figure this would be a great time to do so. Not if you're a dumbass. If you're not a dumbass, then you'll run as far back as possible to avoid getting murked. Now if you do this, you'll still be attacked by 3 Pegasus Knights at the same time, but if you have Corrin and Felicia paired together, then you'll be able to take 1 free hit, since the guard gauge will be fully charged by the time the last Pegasus Knight attacks you. Corrin is also strong enough to take out the Pegasus Knights in 1 hit, given that he doesn't miss. Missed? What the hell's wrong with you? Why would you miss? You dumbass. After taking out all of the enemies, you can take some time to heal again. At this point, the only options are to either go for the fort at the top of the map, or to go for the objective. Now, it may seem like going for the fort would be a daunting task, but if we go for it, we have the chance to rack up some extra EXP, and it's actually not as hard as you may think. If we go straight for the fort, yeah, we would die. If the units in the fort didn't kill us, then the nearby archer surely will. But remember when we went down the middle path, and the fort units chased us? Well, that behavior stays active. If you take the middle road, get chased by the fort units, then take on the fort from the high road, the fort units will chase after you, leaving their defenses severely neutered. All it takes is some good positioning and a little bit of math, and you can take them out and easily dispatch the remaining archers. Now all that's left is 1 archer and a Mozu. The archer is easy at this point. Corrin and Felicia take him out basically in 1 round. A Mozu is the real challenge. Even with all the levels Corrin has gained in this chapter, he's still pretty weak compared to him. Thanks to his high speed, a Mozu easily doubles Corrin, and these aren't cheap hits either. Each attack does 10 damage to Corrin, and he only has 23 health points right now. So there's no way Corrin could attack a Mozu and then live during enemy phase. Corrin also only has a 52% chance to hit, so not very reliable. But the solution here is simple. You just have to learn this map's final lesson. Patience. If you have Corrin wait in front of him, during enemy phase, Corrin will counterattack, making sure he has basically no way of dying. Now, sure, Corrin may miss a few times, and due to Omozu's shirk and debuffing him, you'll have to fall back every now and then. But if you just have Corrin wait for enemy phase, eventually you can capture the point and finally escape this hell.
Okay.
Yeah! Let's go!
So now we have 4 great lessons from this map we just went through. 1. How to bait out enemies. 2. How to make good use of pairing up. 3. Knowing when to retreat. And 4. Knowing when it's time to be patient. These lessons will serve you well, as long as you're not a dumbass.